Good morning, I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber. We are going to look at the weather here over the next 10 minutes. We'll look at what's going on here in southeast Texas, take a quick look at what's going on across the rest of the lower 48, and don't have to look at the tropics today because there's nothing out there, and hopefully we've come to the end of hurricane season, even though it officially ends at the end of November, but nothing out there that the Hurricane Center is watching. Hopefully we won't see anything the rest of the season out there in the Atlantic or the Caribbean. Or in the Gulf. The Gulf waters actually have cooled a little bit, and we're looking at water temperature below 80, which typically about 80 degrees or warmer is what you need for some tropical development. And we're in the lower 70s right now, so I don't think we'll see too much going on in the Gulf as far as any tropics for the rest of the season. Let's take a look at what's going on out there through the rest of the afternoon. Lots of sunshine. Our rest of the day forecast showing temperatures in the middle 70s for this afternoon, about 75 to about 77 for highs today. We'll drop off into the upper 60s around the early evening, and then upper 50s as we head towards the late evening hours. About 58 there around 10 o'clock. Expecting lows tonight to stay pretty much into the 50s. We will see some 40s up in the lakes, but around the triangle here, we're generally looking at some middle to maybe a few lower 50s across the area as we head towards Wednesday morning. Allergy report looking at medium through tree, weed, and grass, and then mold is on the low side. Right now with the dry weather, of course, mold is a little bit lower, but kind of an average allergy report right now. If you're sneezing out there, it could be one of those three things: tree, weed, or grass. All right, let's take a look outside, and all we're seeing is blue skies across southeast Texas. Not much more than that. Here's the view from Port Arthur, brought to you by Market Basket, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. And beautiful out there this afternoon with those temperatures in the 70s and humidity levels dropping back down into, say, the middle 40s right now. Very comfortable if you're outside walking the dog, maybe taking a walk this afternoon or whatever. You got to work, maybe something outside, out in the garden or whatever. Make sure you have on the sunblock, but you don't have to worry about too much in the way of really staying too hydrated. It's not too bad out there. Head over to Orange. Once again, just blue skies, beautiful afternoon. This is from the Horseman's Western Store, which is right there on the feeder road next to I-10. As we look at our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network, currently showing 71 in Orange. And look at that humidity reading, about 45 to 50%. Not bad at all. Right now, currently showing 48%. And we're seeing a little bit of an east, southeasterly wind, anywhere between about 5 to 10 over in the Orange area. Generally about 3 to 8 mile an hour wind out of the east, southeast for this afternoon. It looks like the traffic on I-10 is going pretty smoothly. If you're leaving Orange, maybe coming over to Beaumont for lunch or something like that, at least in that area, it looks pretty good. As we head downtown, this is from Packer the Prairie, and we're currently showing 73 degrees downtown. Once again, that humidity level very comfortable at about 42% there, and we're once again seeing a little bit of an east wind around 3 to 5 miles per hour, generally be out of the east southeast as we go through the afternoon. And of course, just blue skies over the city of Beaumont for this afternoon. See the train traffic going through downtown there, looking good in Beaumont and all across southeast Texas, even up in the lakes area, seeing the same type of weather. Just plenty of blue sky. You got to have some clouds to get any rain, and we don't see any clouds in the forecast, at least today. Maybe the next couple of days, a few more clouds, but that's about it. Check the traffic on I-10 right outside our 12 News studio, and looks like it's going around pretty smoothly. Once again, if you're heading out to lunch and maybe heading from Washington down over towards maybe the mall, down towards Dallin there, looks like traffic's going smoothly. You don't have any delays if you're running out for lunch. Our 12 News studio camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network, and you can see we don't have any clouds on this camera as well. Looking pretty quiet out there for this afternoon. As we check temperatures right now, generally in the lower 70s. We go from 71 in Beaumont to 71 in Silsbee and the 71 in Kirbyville, right at 70 in Jasper and 70 as we head over into Woodville, 70 also in Orange, and then Port Arthur currently showing a temperature of about 72. Over towards Houston, they're at 72, Conroe's at about 71, and then showing lower 70s through DeQuincy and Lake Charles right at 70 degrees there. Very quiet on satellite and radar, nothing on radar from New Mexico all the way over into Georgia. Nothing going on in the deep south for this morning. High pressure overhead building back towards us, so that's why we get a little bit more of a southeasterly wind. That should eventually warm us up as we head towards, it looks like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll see some middle 80s by Friday and Saturday And then with another front coming through Saturday night, looks like we could see a nice cool down for Saturday and for Sunday into Monday. Not going to see any rain with this front. We don't have a lot of moisture to work with right now. Like I showed you, those humidity levels in the 40s. Very dry out there. But the only clouds we see across the state are up the extreme northern end of the panhandle up near Amarillo. That is about it, with a weak front just off the map there, kicking up a few of those clouds. So travel plans today, maybe you're heading over to Houston, maybe heading over to Lake Charles, maybe you're going farther down towards San Antonio. No problems out there. Dallas also looks good if you have a flight up there tomorrow morning. No problems out there. As we look across the rest of the country, we do see a few areas where they're getting some rain. Northern California, much needed rain there. You can see through Northern California, we have a storm system coming into the Pacific Northwest, so it's spreading out some rain through parts of Idaho up into Montana. I'm sure they're getting some snow in the higher elevations there. And in the Rocky Mountains, pretty quiet. We are seeing some, probably some snow up in the northern Rockies, but overall not too bad. Looks like LA down towards Vegas, very quiet for this afternoon. Midwest is very quiet. A couple of showers up towards, say, North Dakota, but that's about it. I'll switch our attention over towards the East Coast, and there's some activity through parts of New England, or was some activity in New England, area low pressure moving away from there. But most of the East Coast is very quiet as well. Not much going on, and you can see down towards Florida, very quiet conditions. Our futurecast through the afternoon takes us up into the middle 70s with sunny skies, then drops us off into the 60s as we head towards this evening. Eventually we'll be in the 50s by 10 o'clock, and then we'll see those numbers drop off into the lower 50s with some upper 40s towards the lakes area heading into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon we go right back up through the 70s, and we'll top out around 80 degrees through the afternoon before falling back into the 70s as we head towards the very early evening hours on Wednesday. So tomorrow, another day much like today, maybe a couple of clouds around, but that's about it. As we check our coastal marine forecast for today, northeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots, seas about a foot. Next high tides at 3:02 for this afternoon. Light chop on the inland lakes and bays with sunny skies. You can see right now along the coast, southeasterly winds around 10 knots or 10 miles per hour at Texas Point. Water temperature there into the lower 70s out into the Gulf. So like I said, you really need a temperature near 80 or above to get some of those warm waters to fuel maybe a tropical system, and we don't see that at least near the coast. And our sunset right now for today is going to be at 5:26. So now the time's changed. It gets dark real fast. It seems like in the evening. At least we see the sunrise a little bit earlier in the morning, but still I'm still getting used to the sunset popping up there around 5:30 in the evening. All right, our forecast for today, lots of sunshine, southeasterly winds around 3 to 8. Temperatures there from the middle to upper 70s. We'll go as high as 77, and along the coast we might see some temperatures topping out in the middle 70s there for today. As we head towards tonight, clear skies overhead, a little bit of a southeasterly wind at 2 to 7, and we go from middle 50s here in the triangle to lower 50s on inland southeast Texas, and then upper 40s in the lakes. So you'll need a jacket for sure up in the lakes, and probably going to need a jacket through most of the area tomorrow morning. It's going to be a little bit cool and chilly up in the lakes. All right, our 7-day forecast, you notice the warming trend up into the lower 80s for Wednesday and Thursday, about 80, 81. And then Friday and Saturday, ahead of that front, we'll see temperatures warm up into the middle 80s. That front looks like it's going to come through late Saturday, early Sunday. And behind that, we'll clear out the clouds. Like I said, we don't have a ton of moisture to work with in the first place. We'll clear out the clouds, and you can see Sunday 79, and then on Monday about 73. Also, you notice lows in the 50s for Wednesday, Thursday, and then we warm up into the 60s for Friday, Saturday, and then back down into the 60s and 50s for Monday. Number over there, 409-749-9302. That's the number you can text us if you have any weather questions. We won't answer that telephone, but you definitely can message us at that.